In this video, we're going to go through the employment pages of a self-assessment tax return. So if you're employed, but you also need to complete a tax return for any number of reasons, then this is the video for you. Now, the easiest way for me to show you this is to fill it out with my own information, but obviously I'm not going to do that on camera. So I will run through the questions on the page and where you can find the answers, and then I'll pop off camera quickly to fill it out, so we can move on to the next page. So the document you need to have in hand to quickly fill this out is your P60 if you were still employed with a company at year end, or your P45 if you left. And the tax return we're filling out today is the 2024 to 25 tax return, because it's September at the moment of 2025, so this is the current one that needs to be completed. Now, on your P60 or P45, look for the employer name as it's written on there, just to make sure HMRC can easily cross-reference it. So fill in the company name and then look for the employer's PAYE reference number. That's normally 3 digits, a / 2 letters and 4 or 5 numbers, but some are different. So if it says employer's reference, then that is what you need to put in. And then you're going to put in the total pay. And the total pay and total tax paid are normally in a highlighted box. So it's normally got a bold line around it, maybe a star, and it probably says somewhere on there for use on self-assessment tax return if required, something like that. So that's your total pay for the year. If you've had payroll benefits during the year, then you'll know about this bit already, and you will have received a P11 from the company. If you haven't had one and you don't have any payroll benefits, such as a company car or medical insurance, that kind of thing, then you probably don't have any. There's nothing to write in there. Then we get to the UK tax taken, which is that other highlighted box next to the total pay. So you put your tax for the year in there. And this one's really for hospitality industry. Any tips that you've received that you need to declare that are not on your P60 already, then they go in there. And this pension contributions is specifically if you've had a payment from HMRC because of a net pay pension scheme that you're in. So if you haven't had that, ignore that box too. Now, I've already ticked the yes on this one because I am a director of this company, but if you're just an employee, then that's going to be a no, and these questions won't even come up. If we say no, is this employment through off payroll working? This is where a limited company will contract into a larger company. If you're not working as part of your own limited company, this probably isn't going to apply to you. If you're just a standard employee of a regular business, then you can ignore that question. But as always, there is a little bit of extra information that you can read about it. So providing services through your own limited company. If you're not doing that, just ignore it. And the taxable benefits, as I mentioned, this is from your P11 that you will have got from your employer, and that will tell you the value of any benefits that you've had. And then you tick the yes if you have, and on a later page you need to fill that out. And if you've incurred any expenses personally that are from your work, so say for example you drive your own car to do business journeys, like for an estate agent might use your own car to go to viewings, and then you claim back mileage. Some companies don't pay the full 45p a mile. They will pay less, and then you can reclaim the difference. This is where if you need to do something like that, you're going to tick yes on this box, and then on the next page, I think it will be, we're going to fill in what the amount is. So I'm just going to pop off camera and fill that out, and I'll be back. That's page 1 all completed. Now we move on to the next page. We're going to fill out a bit more information. So this is going to be the box where you add in that difference between the mileage that your company pays you and the full allowance that HMRC will give. So HMRC will pay 45p a mile for the first 10,000 miles, and then for a car or a van it drops down to 25 pence. a mile for everything over 10,000. If we have a look on HMRC's actual pages, and I'll put this link in the description so you can look at it in more detail. But cars and vans, 45p for the first 10,000 and 25p for everything over that. Motorcycles and even bicycles can claim. For bikes, motorbikes, it's 24 pence, regardless of how many miles, and bicycles 20 pence a mile. And HMRC also request that you fill out a mileage log that includes the reason for every journey and a postcode for the start and finish, which is going to help them verify that mileage. What I have issued to some of my clients is a very basic mileage log that you can fill out with the date that you travelled. You fill in the details there, which can be the postcodes or the start and finish mileage in the car, and then the total number of miles here. This has got the details added in so that it will automatically add up the amount of miles that you've put in the form, and then it will calculate it at 45 pence a mile. Now, if your company that you work for already pays you, say, 15 pence a mile, then you just change this amount up here to 30p, and then it will give you the total mileage at 30 pence a mile. So you're just claiming the difference. And once you've got that figure, that's where you come back to your tax return and you fill that figure in here. So hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, give me a shout and I'll see if I can explain it better. After that, this is only going to apply to uniformed airline people. So if that's not you, then ignore it. If it is, then obviously fill it out. That's going to be quite specific. Professional fees and subscriptions, there's a lot of different industries that need you to pay out for professional fees, and they're not necessarily reimbursed by the company. If they're not reimbursed, then you claim them here. And the same for other expenses that haven't been included in one of the boxes above. And as before, you can click to get a bit more information, and they even include some links to other documents that you can read to help you understand what they're after. Now I need to fill this page out, so bear with me and I'll be back. Then finally, we move on to the any other information page where you can free type something that you want to say to HMRC. Don't use this box for questions or anything. I wouldn't guarantee that it'll even be looked at. But you've only got 700 characters, and that's quite a lot, I suppose. If you've got anything you want to write in there, I've never had anything I've wanted to write in there. So for me, that would just be a save and continue. And that's it, the basic overview of the employment pages only of the self-assessment tax return. So if there are any parts of that you want to go more in depth into, then let me know in the comments. And if there's other areas of the tax return that you're keen to get some help and advice on, then obviously tell me that too. And I will get on to that in another video. I will also link all of the resources that I used through the course of the video in the description. So if there's anything else, let me know, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.